Yo, it's Wild on 2. Thank you for joining my channel for the pregame show with Hollywood from Insane Throttle, Bry The Biker, of course, Star, Robert today, and I want to thank her for coming on. I do appreciate it. Have a different feel, also a female, someone does some motor blogs and stuff like that on YouTube, but mostly Instagram, and she's an Indian motorcycle ambassador. So she's going to talk more about herself here in a second. Hollywood, anything you want to start off with?
Well, it's awesome having Star Bobber on board. It's going to be a very interesting conversation, especially finding out what an Indian motorcycle, and I said it right this time, I didn't butcher it, ambassador is.
Yeah. So, Star, if you want to talk a little bit about yourself, and then of course I have your channel up here. I'm show it here in a second. Your Instagram, not channel, but your Instagram, and then we can probably pop your channel later. If you want to talk about yourself.
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Star. That's my real name. And I own 2 Indian motorcycles. My first bike I got 3 years ago is the Indian Scout Bobber. It's a 2018. And then a year later, I got the Indian FTR 1200S. So that was my second bike. So yeah, I started my Instagram page. That's where I started. I didn't start on YouTube. I kind of just started posting pictures. I was doing photo shoots, which kind of fell in my lap. A photographer, was in my DMs asking me, and I was like, why do you want to take pictures of me with my bike? But I did it and started posting them, and my Instagram grew. And so that's kind of how Indian Motorcycle found me. They actually reached out to do a magazine. They have a writer's magazine that they have. I believe they have it twice a year now, spring and a fall. So I went and I did their very first issue. And after that, I kind of just, I stayed in contact with them. And when the ambassador program opened up, I went ahead and applied. And I was one of the 10 that got chosen to be an Indian motorcycle ambassador.
Very nice.
Are you guys seeing the Instagram right now? I think I'm sharing it.
We are.
Okay. I mean, she has like a crap load of awesome pictures and modeling on these motorcycles. I got to try wearing one of those dresses and probably get Instagram going. Are you a Cowboys fan?
I am a diehard Cowboys fan.
Oh,
so I don't know if you guys realize I picked this Sunday because it's our bye week.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. I saw that and I go, I bet she's a Cowboys fan. And I'm here in St. Joe, Texas, but I'm not a Cowboys fan. But everybody here is.
What got you into Indian motorcycles instead of Harley? Because usually a Harley would have been the first choice.
Okay, yeah. So actually, when I was pregnant with my first pregnancy, I was put on bed rest, and I was stuck at home watching TV. I was watching, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the show on History Channel, American Pickers.
Yeah.
With
yes.
Yeah. So one of the guys, Mike Wolf, is a really big Indian motorcycle guy, and so that's kind of where I learned about Indian motorcycle, was through him. And I just, every time he got excited about finding one, I was like, oh my God, like he talks so highly about these. And so it kind of always stuck in my head. I'm like, if I ever, which back then was like never, I was like, if I ever buy a motorcycle or purchase a motorcycle or collect whatever, it has to be an Indian. And so yeah, and then later on, when I decided I wanted to get a bike to ride to school, my first place to look was Indian motorcycles, and I saw the Scout Bobber and I fell in love.
You know what? He really picked some real old school Indian. He's like an encyclopedia when it comes to Indian.
He really is. I even still watch the show, here and there when it's on, and it's really cool. He's very passionate about it. I mean, about everything he finds. He's a really cool guy. I hope to meet him one day.
Is he also an Indian motorcycle ambassador?
I don't believe. No, he's not an ambassador. But I think he's worked with Indian motorcycle before. So I believe I've seen him on some of their older like promo videos. So
gotcha. Cool. So what got you started on Instagram?
I just so my Instagram currently, my Star Bobber account for like the first 3 months was actually a makeup account. I would post makeup. And that was going nowhere.
That was the Hollywood's first channel.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't look too good in lipstick.
Yeah.
I don't need to stall. There's an image.
Yeah, I don't know. Really, honestly, I just kind of was like, well, when I got the bike, I felt like I was going to be posting too much about it on my personal account. And so I decided to kind of focus on it on this new account. And yeah, that's kind of where it started. I never meant, I never intended for it to be as big as it is now. I really was just kind of for fun. I think what really set me off was kind of hooking up with photographers and getting really nice, good quality photos on there.
Yeah, no, your Instagram looked really good. You had like 51,000 followers, I think, right? That's what I just saw.
Yeah.
So starting out on motorcycles, did you take a course? How did you get over the fear of getting on one?
Yeah, so I took the CHP course here in California. I took it, it's a weekend long course. You go one day during the week, and then you go Saturday, Sunday, and you learn to ride. So I did that. I actually already owned my Scout Bobber before taking the classes. So when I came home, I think I practiced maybe once in a parking lot. The next day, I rode it to school.
Yeah, that's a great bike.
Yeah. I just I tell people that all the time. I felt like I picked up riding kind of quickly because I was really determined to take my bike to school for like parking reasons. And so I probably looked crazy, but I learned how to ride that way. I was riding my bike, 4 days a week to school, and
that's awesome.
Now, yeah.
And I was going to ask, are you married?
Yes.
Okay, I have to ask. The viewers might want to know. No, but does your husband ride too? What's his?
Yeah. So yeah, my husband rides too. So when I met him, he had a Gixxer. He likes sports bikes. And that's kind of always the plan for him. He wants to get like a Ducati. So that's probably what he's going to end up getting. But he stopped riding. When we met, we got pregnant, had kids and everything. And then the bikes kind of just came back in the picture when I kind of joked. Was like, hey, I think I want to learn how to ride so I can like ride a bike to school. It'd be easier, for parking quicker. And so, of course, he used to ride. So he's like, yeah, do it.
Yeah, well, that's cool. So he supported you big time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, when I would doubt myself, he's like, no, you got it. And I'm like, okay.
That's awesome. A question I always had wild on? When they say we got pregnant, I'm sitting there thinking, I didn't get pregnant. You did. I got nothing going on here.
You just had a part to play in it, but that's about it.
Yeah.
We hope you did, right? We hope you did.
What kind of Ducati does he want?
A Ducati Monster, I'm pretty sure is what he wants. Yeah.
So is it kind of weird him being on a sports bike, you being on a road bike?
Not really. So I have the FTR. Like the way we kind of planned it out was going to be, I would, get the FTR, kind of get comfortable on more like a sports bike type bike. So then when he gets the Ducati, I could like quote unquote keep up with him.
Okay.
Well, but yeah, I'm personally not a big fan of sport bikes, but that's what he likes, so it's cool.
Very cool. What kind of work did you have done? Because I know your exhaust sounds insane on that bobber.
Yeah, so I have it's called the Hacker Mayhem.
Okay.
And it's pretty cool, dude. I mean, it's loud. It's really loud. Like yesterday, I was on an event. We were selling pumpkins for our riders group, and where I was parked was like right in the center of like food trucks and people enjoying their Saturday. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to turn this thing on and like ride through the trucks because I was inside the event, right through the trucks to just get to the parking lot. During those moments, I'm like, why the hell did I put this exhaust on my bike?
That's awesome.
It's cool. I mean, they're all like, oh my God, look at that chick on the bike. So it's whatever. But I definitely bobbed my bobber out. I removed the fender, the rear fender. The drag bars, the spring seat. What else did I removed the turn signals in the front, the really big ones. I have the smaller ones. Basically, like my goal with that bike was to just kind of bob it out as much as I can without it being, legal. I just don't need to get pulled over. So,
well, California has a lot of different, not a lot, but different rules too about exhaust and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, technically here in California, I'm not supposed to have it, but they don't mind.
Technically, you're not in California. That's what.
Yeah. It's the whole off-road use only pipes.
Yeah.
Those
I
are
get
right
it.
over there
You're
in
going off-road.
California. The season year long, I suppose, obviously. So just
For
like
the most part, where I'm at, I can ride. Yeah, we're spoiled. I mean, it's too where like I could really pick and choose when I want to ride because I can almost always ride. So if it's going to be a little chillier, then I'm like, I'll just wait for tomorrow.
And what's your
What challenges have you faced as a woman getting your own motorcycle, riding your own motorcycle? What challenges have you had to deal with?
I mean, me personally, I feel like I haven't really encountered anything. But I think overall, I feel like maybe sometimes people would doubt me or, think that, I don't know, like, or I've heard like that's not her bike, or I'm sure people, if they see me, like they just assume, whatever it is they assume. It's hard because, like I said, personally, I've never really had anyone say anything to me or, at least to my face. But I'm sure that people talk and that's just the way it is. I think for me, when it comes to like being a woman on a motorcycle, I tend to mostly ride with other women who ride. So I don't have a lot of like interactions with other male riders who, make me feel like they're superior anyway like that. So
because women are starting to break into what was traditionally a man's lifestyle, and I think it's great. I think it's great that women are breaking through and being able to get on their own bikes, even though my wife, she's not coordinated enough, she can't even ride a mini bike, but it's great seeing women like yourself getting on the scooters and living a life.
For sure. I love it. I'm all about it. I was able to organize a ride earlier this year for International Female Ride Day. And I don't know why. I was like, we're going to have like 5 people show up, and there were over 20 women there.
Oh, wow.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's just a variety of different, backgrounds, ages, bike styles. There were sport bikes, there was cruisers. It was pretty awesome. So there's a lot of female riders out there. Especially, more than when I remember being younger, and I never once ever seen a woman on a motorcycle growing up as a little girl. So
I was going to say that I know, like us in the motovlogging community, we support each other. For Instagram, do you have a community? You do a lot of Instagram. Do you have other communities there, like an Instagram, that support each other and help promote, or is it you're just by yourself?
Oh no, yeah, for sure. I definitely have like my circle of people. I think when I started, I was right away welcome into Indian motorcycle world. So there's a lot of actually moto bloggers in there. Like there's Bearded Bobber, there's Meatball, then there was Brownie Picasso. I know I'm forgetting a bunch. Sorry, guys. But so they were like the first like kind of community that kind of like took me under their wings. And then as my Instagram grew, just other, a lot of female Instagrammers, I guess you can call us. So, it's really cool. We're all really supportive of each other, and, we do our best to support each other, share each other's posts and whatnot. So
with being an ambassador for India, what is that? Indian motorcycles? I said it correctly.
See, you're the one who messed it up, not me.
Yeah, leave it to the rookie. I know.
30-second delay on a mute there.
I won't be on the next show. Don't worry about it. So what does that involve for you? That sounds like an exciting opportunity.
Oh yeah, for sure. So for me, it's just kind of like me representing the brand as a rider, a real rider and bike owner. I've been able to do a couple of things. Like I was sent to Arizona to test ride out the new Chiefs when they came out. I recently just came back from Nashville.
I saw that.
Yeah, it was in Lynchburg for the Jack Daniels and Indian motorcycle. I don't know if you guys see the bike. It was the Challenger. So I was able to go to there. That was really cool. I've never been to Tennessee, so that was a really fun experience.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was beautiful roads there. I'm still thinking about them. Like it was gorgeous. So I'm actually not a big water person, and I'm here in California. So everyone who comes here wants to ride like the coast. And that's not really my taste. So I'm like, so when I go somewhere like in Nashville and I got to ride, one of their roads, it was really amazing. And I wish I was over there a little bit more, but so yeah, we get to do things like that. I organize that women's ride. I just try to be involved as much as I am, or currently in the Indian Motorcycle Riders group here in Fresno. I did the pumpkin patch sale yesterday. So just trying to be more involved with real riders who ride and own Indian motorcycles.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
What was your biggest fear the first time you looked at the bike and you were about to get on it and ride?
My first big fear was to drop it because it was new and a beautiful bike. I think when I was riding, I think my biggest fear I had to overcome was probably two things. The first is stalling. I wasn't afraid of stalling because I felt like that's kind of how you learn, but it was more of the embarrassment and people seeing me. And I think too, that has to be I had being, a female on a bike, oh my gosh, she doesn't know how to ride. That girl's trying to ride type of oh, they're going to think, and then another thing would be just giving the bike too much power, giving it too much throttle and
How that?
Yeah, I don't know. Accidentally, I can't really do a wheelie other, but in my head, when I'm learning, I'm like, oh my God, I'm pop the wheel or something. So those are my fears that obviously you overcome with the more riding you do and you learn.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people's fear. I mean, I know a lot of guys that get their bike and they upgrade to a bigger bike, like a Road Glide Limited or something. And then they're pulling into a bar with that parking lot's all gravel, and you can see them nervous, thinking, "Don't drop the bike, and they drop the bike or do something, and it happens to everybody. So I don't care who you are, if you don't drop your bike, you're not trying hard enough, really.
Yeah,
not at all.
As an Indian motorcycle ambassador, see, I got that right. Does Indian people that ride Indian have a close knit dedication to the brand as people that ride Harleys, per se?
I would say yes. At least the ones that I'm around, that I've been able to be around. I mean, there's always going to be people who are going to support both or support other brands. And I still support other, I just support everyone who rides, really, in general. If you ride a motorcycle, I'm all for it. But I think that our community is similar, but it's also not similar to, other brands. But we definitely are, loyal, I guess you can say.
Well, that's good, because Indian, they've been through numerous owners, and now I really love that Polaris owns them because they got the power, the money behind them. The only thing that concerns me with Indian is the dealer network. It don't have the network set up as Harley. Is that something that they're working on?
I don't know. So I can't really answer that, but I can definitely see that, obviously I think that they're very smart there. And so if the issue is, being brought up enough, then they're definitely going to address it. That's one thing I really think that Indian Motorcycle does really well with, and that's listen to their customers, whether it be on a bike or, things like that. I think that, if it's brought up enough and they know it, then I could tell you that they're going to address it for sure.
Yeah,
Awesome.
no, I was going to say, because I had an Indian Chief Dark Horse for a little bit before I had my Road Glide. And the community is pretty tight, little community, and you see the guys that continue getting Indian products. I thought they were a little, on the Facebook pages, they were kind of a little worse hating on Harley than Harley ever hates on the Indian. I was pretty surprised on that. With the memes and everything. I was like, holy crap. But someone, you already told us the bike that was in the pictures, but a couple of people are asking in the comment section what that was that you were in the pictures. If you want to repeat again,
Sure.
what bike you had.
I'm assuming it's probably the Indian Scout Bobber. I tend to do more photo shoots and pictures with that one. It's a 2018 Indian Scout Bobber in, I think it's matte black. I don't know exactly the color name, but it's the matte black. And I obviously have a couple of little aftermarket, so it looks a little different. But yeah, it's a beautiful bike. It's my favorite bike.
You bring up the aftermarket, Star Bobber. How is the aftermarket for Indian?
It's definitely better than I think people would assume. And by people I mean because I know, for example, I know Harley is really, they have a lot. But I've seen from where I started when I got the bike in 2018, like my options then to where they are now, it's almost like, oh, well, which way am I going to go now? Because we have more options. And I think that will continue to grow as the company grows. So
awesome. Do you have, so what's your favorite type of riding? I know you said you commuted to school. When you go out with your husband, do you spend all day on the bike? Do you travel?
I rarely ride with my husband.
Okay.
I prefer riding solo. I like riding with groups, not big groups. Like I said, I have a couple of friends who ride, and like when I ride with them, we'll like hit up a restaurant, you know, leave, hit up another restaurant. But so my favorite kind of riding is kind of, how would I explain it? Like kind of short, to the point.
Okay.
I usually don't go too far out. You know, it depends what bike I'm on too, because I have an FTR, and so that one I will go a little further with. But you know, I'm a mom, I have 3 young kids. Sure. I don't have all the time. I don't get to do a whole lot of like long road trips. I did go to Babes Ride Out, I think it was last month. So I went to Santa Barbara. I think that was I couldn't even tell you how many miles that was, but it was like a 3-hour ride, so maybe just over 300. So I mean, for the most part, I kind of like to keep my ride short and sweet.
Okay. Babes Ride Out looked awesome. I saw a ton of video.
So much fun. I can't wait for the next one. And I don't camp, so like for me to be like, it was so much fun. Yeah, if there's any women watching who didn't want to go to Babes or don't want to try moto camping because camping's not your deal, highly recommend going to Babes Ride Out. You have to go through that experience. It was so much fun.
Awesome. I was going to ask it. Could you guys hear me clearly? Someone said that I wasn't pretty loud on this mic. I put it up here, so it's the first time I have it up here, or second time. So
as he smacks it.
Yeah, you can hear it when you smack it.
You gotta smack some things around once in a while. Sorry, what's your future plans with your Instagram, or if you go back on YouTube or so and do videos? What's your future plans itself for yourself of growth, or what you want to see yourself?
So I definitely want to try to make more videos on YouTube. And I definitely will continue on Instagram. Just, you know, you never know, I might get another bike. So maybe we'll see another new bike. And yeah, I don't know, maybe dip my toes into TikTok. I hear TikTok's where it's at. So
how about your modeling career? You know, because you have a lot of awesome photos on your Instagram. Are you looking to get into modeling?
So I do have a modeling account that I just do on the side. Same thing. It kind of started when I started taking pictures of my bike. One of the photographers asked me to do a shoot without my bike, which was really crazy because I didn't know what I was like. I have nowhere to sit. I have nothing to hold on to. Like, what am I doing? So I've been doing that on the side for like maybe a year. So I'll maybe if they want to take my picture, then I'll do it.
Have you had any motorcycle magazines approach you for a shoot?
So the only one that I've been in is the Indian motorcycle one that they have for the riders. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've been in a couple of like published ones for like modeling, but yeah, I think that would be on my bucket list to maybe get on another motorcycle magazine. We'll see.
You mentioned another bike. Are you thinking about going to a bagger or something bigger than you have now?
If I do get a third one, it'd probably be the Chief. Just because of that mid-size. Like I said, I can't do a whole lot of traveling right now. Yeah. So I think, I don't know, I get asked about baggers a lot, and I feel like it's just not in my cards right now. You know, maybe in 10, 15 years, my kids are older, then I just won't use it.
No, it makes perfect sense.
So I'm like, for the money, no, I can't just have it sitting in the garage. So
I always tell people, when you buy a bike that you're going to use about 90% of the time. The other 10% you can freaking borrow someone's bike or something,
or get a loaner, rent one. Yeah. For sure.
And if you can recommend anything for a woman who's looking into starting biking, of course, probably the MSF course, but any other tips or anything that you suggest?
Yeah.
Or bike size or.
So, if they're looking to start riding and they're looking at Indian motorcycles, I definitely would recommend a Scout. They have a bunch of different Scout models. There's the Scout 60. There is the Scout 20, Scout Bobber, what I have. Then there's just the Indian Scout. If they're going through something like maybe self-doubt, like what I went through, I think that's like kind of the advice I always give women is to just get out of your head that you can do it and to stop doubting yourself. Because I think that for me was my biggest hurdle, was just getting over my own doubts.
Yeah.
Does Indian have any plans for marketing straight to females?
They do a good job. I feel like marketing to females, I've seen a couple of promos. They did the Scouting America. They sent 4 female rider riding around on all different scout models. I was part of the Arizona promo for the Chief, so female, and they always support, like I said, I want to say there's 4 of the 10 ambassadors are female. They support International Female Ride Day, so I think they do a pretty good job. I think a lot of brands are, to be honest. I think they're starting to take notice of all the women who are starting to ride. So if that's where, their marketing needs to go, that's who's buying, then, they're definitely going to do it.
It's definitely a huge market.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's huge. It's a real huge market now. I know Harley's going after the females right now, but Indian, I really do believe it has a chance because it has a different kind of reputation than Harley does.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's the weight on your bike?
So my Scout Bobber is 500.
Okay.
Yeah, because I removed a couple of things like the rear fender and the exhaust. The stock exhaust is pretty heavy. So,
well, you know what? I can't talk to an Indian motorcycle ambassador without asking them what you think about the flat track racing and the Indian just killing it. Indians killing it.
Oh, for sure, it's amazing. I mean, like I own the FTR 1200S, so that's a really fun bike, and yeah, they really are. It's amazing, and I'm not surprised. So, not one bit.
Well, especially with Polaris back in the play, where Harley is basically let it at the dealer level with the race teams, and you have Indian really supporting the program for race and flat tracking. I just can't believe how fast they came so quick to giving Harley the competition and overtaking them.
Yeah, they did great in the bagger race too.
Yeah,
it's amazing work.
Oh yeah, the bagger race.
I'm more the old schooler. I like flat track.
Okay, that's fair. I'm waiting for somebody to have that bike show up in a showroom with those baggers with high bags and the single side exhaust. I love that look. It's a really nice bike.
For sure.
So with your Instagram, how is it different than, say, TikTok, YouTube, all that stuff? Do you find it more engaging on Instagram with your followers?
I think it depends on like the viewer. So like for me personally, I prefer to just kind of scroll through photos because they're kind of quick. Whereas like you kind of have to invest your time to watch a video. So I prefer Instagram. That's my favorite social media account. And TikTok is good too because they're short videos. They're shorter than videos. Yeah, they're like 15 seconds. So they're just quick and short. I tend to be into that like that quick. I mean, I feel like I'm always on the go, so I'm always doing things. So I'm kind of like I just.
So do you think if we put some lipstick on Wild on 2 and a dress, he might get more people?
You never know. I mean,
to find people though.
Yes.
I'm my #1 pin fan. I can see him in the comment section now. Just gonna wait to. I already wear my medium shirts. Actually, these are large, but my baby gap shirts, and he loves those. He always talks to me about them too, and we look through catalogs together on Zoom. So hopefully,
Star, you do most of your own photography, right? Or at least you were at one point.
I was definitely in the beginning. So my husband would take a lot of my pictures, or I would just set up a tripod with a timer. But now I kind of collab. I have like that one like special photographer who's like a really dear friend of mine now. And so anytime I have an idea, he's down. We learned how to do like the rolling shots and he just kills it every time. So anytime Indian Motorcycles Instagram page uses any of my photos, it's typically one of his. So it's really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic.
That is your real first name, Star Bobber, because one of our guys just said he thought you wrote a V Star.
Yeah, my name is Estrella, which is Spanish for star.
Estrella.
So yeah, so it's literally a star.
Oh, that's
That's my
awesome.
name.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Now, do you
What's
have?
your background?
Do you watch? Oh, go ahead. Well done.
What's your background? You said is it a Hispanic background or?
Yeah, I'm fully Mexican. I'm Mexican.
Okay.
Mexican American. I was born here, but yeah.
Latina.
Yes.
Your husband already knows not to make you mad, then, because the
He
Latinos,
knows.
you make them mad.
You cannot get a Latino mad, and then I'm one of those grungy ones, the little bruja in me. So you watch out.
Do you speak Spanglish or do you speak Spanish?
Spanglish. I understand a lot of Spanish, but I'm not very confident with speaking it. So
Right,
All
that's
I
my
know
first
is you
language,
carry
that's why.
Taco Bell. That's all I know.
That's all Hollywood knows.
those
I'm
were
gonna do a whole
the
segment in
commercials. The Chihuahua.
You quiero Taco Bell?
We're gonna do a whole interview in Spanish for a more international crowd one day.
Hey, do you get to talk to her two wheels or any of the other girls that ride?
Sometimes, not a whole lot. I actually met her. I met Jess in Arizona. Yeah, she was there too. She was on a different group. So I think they sent, I want to say like 3 different groups. So when I was arriving, she was leaving. So we didn't get to chat a whole lot. But so I met her there. A couple of other, I met some women at Babes Ride Out. So that was pretty cool too. I mean, like I said, I've yet to meet anyone, who was like a negative personality or didn't support, me or other women who are on either Instagram or YouTube. So women are pretty good at supporting other women on our.
How was it your first time when somebody came up to you and said, "Hey, I seen you in the Indian magazine"?
I'm trying to remember what my first time experiencing that was like. I don't know. I think the first time I must have been doing a shoot and I think someone honked and they recognized me from like Instagram.
Right by honking.
Yeah, but usually like if I do go out, especially if I have my bike, somebody will come up to me and be like, I follow you. I was at a concert recently.
Stalkerish. I follow you.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. Like for some reason I thought he was gonna like hit on me or something because he kind of just like stopped and was just like pointing at me, smiling. And I'm like, oh god, this guy's gonna like ask to buy me a drink or something. And he's just like, you're the one that rides the Indian on Instagram. I'm like, oh my god, yes.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
See,
Your
that's something
biggest
only
fan.
Wild on Twos would dream about, him being stalked. But
Oh, yeah.
Well, those fishnets are going to help them. So
yeah.
let's
And
go get
it's
some
funny
makeup.
because I hate it because I get like really embarrassed and really shy, and like my friends will like just poke fun at me all the time. But it is what it is. So
we call it fangirled.
yeah.
I'm gonna get an Indian shirt and run up on her, sign my back. I'm gonna blow up your picture on a T-shirt and just have.
Well, she's got merch. Look at her hoodie. That hoodie's awesome.
Yeah, it's the only one, and it's mine. So
That's
All right.
very
So,
cool.
speaking of little things, if you want to throw out the name, maybe I know we put your Instagram there, but your username or the way they can reach you, or
okay. So yeah, my Instagram's star_bobber_11. It's the same thing for TikTok. For YouTube, it's just Star Bobber. And that's it.
that's it.
Those are the only ones I have, but they're good, I promise.
Well, I think you're an awesome ambassador for Indian
Absolutely.
motorcycle. You really are. You're outgoing. You smile all the time. How does somebody get into being an ambassador for Indian?
Yeah, so they actually so this year was their first year, and the way they announced it was via email. So if you already receive emails from Indian Motorcycle, or if you follow their social media, they did drop the announcement, via social media too. And so I think actually I saw it on social media before I realized I had it in an email. Yeah,
Surprise!
I'm on my Instagram more than I am in my email. So But anyways, yeah, I applied. That's how all of us got it. We applied, and basic questions like which bike do you own, where do you live, what's your dealership, do you feel comfortable doing things like not necessarily like this, but like leading a ride or going to local rides and things like that. Because some of us can't do. Honestly, that was the hardest part for me. Being social, I think this is easy, but like in person, I'm very like. So, but it's definitely helped me come out of my shell. Just my Instagram in general.
Is there a determined time length that you're an ambassador, or you just?
I believe
that's
it's
what you get to Harley.
Yeah, until I switch, and then they have no choice but to kick me out. No, I believe it's a year. So I'm the ambassador for 2021. I do believe that they'll either open it up again for new people or maybe add more on. So if you are interested in that and you own an Indian motorcycle, just keep an eye out. And we were towards the end of the year, so.
Does that mean you pass your crown on?
There's a lot of crying involved.
Oh my
God. That's awesome.
So I definitely will continue to do it as long as they still want me. So
cool.
Yeah.
So then, is there rules that you can't obviously have anything to do with other brands, so you always have to be posting with their brand, obviously. So if I Photoshop something, you'd be in trouble.
Yeah. If you Photoshop my bike into a different brand, I would block you.
Jackie texted me, told me to say that.
I mean, I think with any kind of ambassador program with any brand, they obviously will have those kind of rules set in. But I think that's why they choose real, and by real riders, I mean, we're not like celebrities or whatnot, and, obviously they choose us. And so they kind of know a little bit about like looking at our Instagrams and what we post or what we do. And they see that we're, I guess, loyal Indian motorcycle riders. I've personally never ridden even a Harley, or I'm like thinking really hard. Have I? No, I haven't. The only other brand I've ridden was the one I took in my CHP course, which was a Honda Rebel. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you say the company's real responsive to the customers. Have you got to meet any of the executives being an ambassador?
I have. Yeah, actually, I have like at a couple of the events. So really, really good people. I mean, like I said, I think that they're doing a really good job, and I think they're going in the right direction, and they really do listen. I remember seeing a video, and I heard that that they're like in the forums, online, like disguised as like riders and owners, and so they know what we're talking about and what we're discussing. On like, this part of the bike is giving me issues, or I wish they did this and that. So they're in there and they know.
Well, you need to pass a message on for me. Tell them they screwed up by getting rid of Victory.
Oh. Yes. Bring back Victory.
Well, I think it would have been a smart thing because that was their, low to mid-range type of bike. And then you had your Indians, and Victory already had the following. So I'm just thinking that they thought everybody with the Victory had just turned into an Indian, and I don't know.
Yeah. I honestly, I mean, Victory, when I got into them, it was already just Indian motorcycle. But I obviously have seen the Victories, and I hear this often. People tell me that, like, but I don't really have any idea what their plan is with that, but I don't.
I know some of their.
I was gonna say, what do you say when people? I bet do they bring up the Polaris thing to you a lot?
Yeah. Yeah, or like those are like, I guess if I were to get like negative comments, it's usually like, oh, she's riding a Polaris. They don't even say Indian motorcycle, or like.
We got my Moto Blonde in here.
Moto Blonde's in the house.
Moto Blonde's in the house.
Yeah, but that's usually what it is. I'll just get that, like, it's just a Polaris, or kind of thinking that they're funny.
That's funny. Now, have you been invited to go to their headquarters? Where are they based out of? Wisconsin?
No, Minnesota. I haven't. No.
I was just curious.
No, yeah. So I think there were 4 or 3 ambassadors who went this year. But I had something else. So like they kind of split up the I guess, projects or things to do.
Okay.
So, yeah, I know like one of my friends went, another ambassador. So
Very nice.
It's time to take Bry out to the woodshed and beat him for saying that. With that, Harley-Davidson's Milwaukee, buddy.
Well, you know, Shaggy will correct me. Don't worry. I kept thinking they were in Wisconsin for some reason, but no.
No, they're Minneapolis, man. They're part of Polaris.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Polaris. But I mean, I think they kept their. I mean, in Polaris, it's like they have their own department. It's just Indian bikes. It's not like the same guys are doing the Polaris ATVs or type of things. It's like just for Indian itself. They have, I think, almost the same workers too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, like I said, I liked my Indian when I had it, so I never had complaints. I just went with a different bike that I needed.
yeah.
And wanted. So.
I know at the IMS show, they had a great showing of bikes. They had a ton of great looking bikes. I haven't tried one yet, but it's on the list.
I was going to say, Hollywood, at what time should we get going to Black Dragon's channel?
I got to get off of here in a couple minutes.
Yeah, so we'd probably be ending here in a few minutes. But if there's any more questions in the comment section, I just want to thank Star for being on the show, and it was nice talking to you, and then getting to learning more about people. You see them in a different way too, which is cool.
Sure.
Not just your awesome pictures, right? And so if there's anything you want to leave a comment or anything to the viewers, go ahead. If you're
Well, first of all, thank you guys for inviting me and having me. This was really fun, and for those who are watching, thank you for stopping by. And if you guys want to go follow me on my Instagram and leave me either a comment or send me a DM that you guys are here, and I will respond to you. So yeah, that's it really.
okay, well,
Don't you be asking for her phone number, you freak.
Don't be sliding into the
block you.
DMs. Wild Ons could be hitting you up for makeup tips. So
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, no, I do appreciate everybody. We're going to be going to the round table here in about close to 15 minutes or so at Black Dragon's channel. I don't know, Hollywood, if there's a link there you can put in the comment section or something for guys and the ladies to go over there to go take a look. Thanks again,
Black
Star
Dragon
Wars.
TV.
Yep. Thanks again, Bry. Hollywood, we'll see you here in a few.
absolutely. Thank you,
Take
Star. Have a
care.
great night. Have a great weekend, guys.
Have a good night.
See ya.
See you later, Star.